Read it, ladies and gentlemen. Read it. What's up, guys? It is Monday, July 29th, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 854,574. TikTok, next block. We're going to get back to business, guys. Talking a little bit more about Bitcoin and a little less politics. I'm going to mix it up. It is Monday. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I am going to talk about some topics. Nothing in particular. It's kind of just, a lot of times, guys, I use you guys as therapy, to be honest, because this world is so messed up, and you guys are the only people I got to have to talk to in this crazy world. So let me say this first, right? I'm going to talk about Donald Trump at the Bitcoin conference real quick, and then I'll get into something else. So I watched it again for the second time, and I gave him a B- the other day on my initial reaction. Then I watched it again, and actually I think he did a good job overall for the country, because again, he's not just talking about Bitcoiners, and he's not a Bitcoiner, but I think he did a good job overall, letting the Bitcoiners know that, hey, it's a good asset and I like it. Don't really understand it, but also for the American people, don't be afraid to buy it. But I do believe we are going to use Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset in the treasury. I believe that. And Cynthia Hummus came up there, or Lummis, excuse me, came up there, or Loomis, no, Hummus? Oh, it's like hummus, sorry, so Loomis, Cynthia Loomis, who's the Bitcoin senator, self-proclaimed as she is, really nice lady too, said that they're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin. This is right after Donald Trump left. But what I think Donald Trump did is I think he strategically said those things to not give away his position of how much Bitcoin he's going to buy, because if you did, then China and everybody else is going to buy. So, but I do believe he's going to purchase a lot of Bitcoin, him and the Feds, the Federal Reserve. I don't know how they're going to buy it. I don't know if they're going to print money because there's such debt and everything. So overall, I think he did a good job. And speaking of Donald Trump and the election real quick, Kamala Harris must be stopped. She's a puppet, and we must make sure that she can't get elected. We must make sure she doesn't get elected. Now again, it's a machine and puppeteers and evilness that is controlling these people, because she is a puppet, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it. It's not about Kamala Harris. The only reason I'm saying this about Kamala, because she is the new puppet, the new toy, the new shiny thing. And the media is just completely and utterly, 85% of the mainstream media are completely and utterly propping her up and absolutely lying about her, not talking about the policies. Everything's about identity politics, and absolutely utterly gaslighting the United States citizens. I'm not gonna say like I've never seen before, because we've seen some gaslighting, but again, us as Americans, we have to make sure that she doesn't get in office, because I think she does have the best chance out of all the puppets that would come up in the primaries, if they did have a primary, to challenge Donald Trump. I think the best one that would obviously be Michelle Obama in the world. Maybe the only people in the world that can beat Donald Trump in America is probably Michelle Obama. Challenge him, not beat him. And maybe Oprah Winfrey, something like that. Maybe somebody like The Rock or something. Even he left. Somebody that's on that side. There's not many people that's gonna have enough time in the election cycle. They need a year and a half to get it all done, because that's why the mainstream media is working overtime to absolutely prop up this woman who is just so unlikable. And I argue with people all the time about it. Not Trump derangement syndrome people, not the wokesters, and not the never Trumpers, because they're just a waste of time. I'm talking about people on the left that are more center left. Well, maybe not. Well, center left, yeah. Lean towards the wokeness and Trump derangement syndrome, but not fully there. They haven't really lost their mind. But I just talked to them like, hey, I said, we need Donald Trump in. I mean, you need to fight against Donald Trump because you want to protect democracy, right? I said, yeah. So what's democracy? Oh, it's the above. I said, right to choose, right to vote. You know, who you want as a candidate. I said, yeah. I said, well, Kamala wasn't, she wasn't voted in. She was chosen in. That's what she was, and you know that. And I know it. And then I just go down the list of her record and stuff like that. And you know what they always say? But yeah, we need to beat Trump. So again, these people that claim they want quote unquote democracy don't even know what democracy is, number one. But number two, they will do anything, and I mean anything, in the name of beating Donald Trump. And it's just sad, man. It really is the state of our country right now. But we have a video out now of the shooter on the roof. They didn't show the video, but a guy got his phone back. I guess he was a citizen out there outside the gates of the rally in Pennsylvania on July 13th. But there should be a July or J13 investigation, just like they did J6. July 13th should be a day in infamy, because this should be like November 22nd, 1963. Even though Donald Trump himself didn't die, there was an innocent man that died, and I know, one life is not more important than the other, and I get it, nobody knew him and stuff like that, but he was a hero. 2 other people got severely damaged, and they tried to assassinate the president. There should be definitely a day on the map for that day. Literally, it changed a lot in this country after that day. And there was a guy that just got his phone back, I believe from the FBI, or one of them federal agency, one of them 3-letter federal agencies, that he was outside of the building that the man that tried to shoot at Trump, one of the men, the 20-year-old, was on the roof, and he was out there, recording it and stuff, and the police were surrounding the building. If I remember, I'll put the link to the video. I saw it on X today. And the cops had it surrounded. And my question is, why was Trump still on the stage? The reason is the local officers basically said that they had no comms or no communications with the Secret Service. I believe some snipers said that too. One of the couple local snipers. They had a video of them getting interviewed by ABC or something, telling them that they had no communications with the Secret Service. And again, either that was a major derelict of duty out of all those people, or it's going to be something fishy going on. And I think it was the latter. And for these things to happen in our country, and not only for it to be brushed under the rug by the mainstream media, but for them to even question that it really happened and these people believe in it, again, man, it just shows you what these people are all about. And again, it's all in the name of defeating Donald Trump. I have never in my life, I wasn't alive when Abraham Lincoln was alive. I believe he was according to my studies, no one was hated more than Abraham Lincoln, because of obvious reasons, because of freeing the slaves and stuff like that. He was interrupting the big business back then, and that's what Donald Trump is doing. He's kind of like, quote unquote, freeing the slaves. And what do I mean by slaves? I mean people that are infected by the woke mind virus. People that are out here thinking that men can be women and women can be men, thinking that a woman's bodily autonomous rights are being affected by killing babies, or not have the ability to kill babies, thinking that the border being open is good, closing the wall or building the wall is bad, deporting illegal aliens is bad, crime shouldn't be punished to the full extent of the law, and all these other crazy things, free stuff. I mean, I can sit here all day and name that stuff. When someone change you up or captures your body, that's one thing. That was the slavery of the 1800s and the Civil War we fought and won in 1865, the South, and the North versus South. And for them to enslave people, and people have been slaves all over the world, all ethnicities, but to be slaves with your body is almost not as worse to me as being slaves of your mind. And the mainstream media and all these outlets out here that have people's minds enslaved, the truth will always win. I heard a quote the other day. It said something about you can never hide, or something will always be shown. It's the moon, the sun, and the truth. And the truth will always win. And the mainstream media is the antithesis of that. It's the opposite. They are always going against the truth. And we must fight and stand up for the truth. And again, it's not about Democrat and Republican. It's about good versus evil at this point. And traitors versus patriots. And you got to figure out what side you're on. Don't be a fence rider. Don't ride the middle. We have to wake up these people from this this woke mind virus, and I got to give Elon Musk a lot of credit. I know a lot of people don't trust him because the Neuralink stuff and the chips in the brain and everything else, but you got to give credit where credit is due. As of right now, with him freeing a lot of people of the mind virus of not only buying Twitter and turning it into X and a free speech platform, but he's also calling out the hypocrisies of the people that were there before and showing what happened with the Twitter files, that they were lying and hiding information from conservatives and people they disagree with. And that's big. It's become a free speech platform for the most part. I know a lot of conservatives still complain about some certain things, but can you imagine if Elon Musk didn't own Twitter? Think about all the election interference that's two bad words, by the way, put together. You can say hole and ass, and if you put those two words together, they're bad. When you say interference and election together, that's a bad word here on Free Speech YouTube. But all the things about the Hunter Biden laptop and all the lies they told on Twitter back then and all the information they withheld from everybody. Again, Donald Trump was kicked off of Twitter. You know, a lot of Republicans and conservatives, even people in the middle that didn't agree fully with the regime, they were canceled and they couldn't speak their mind. And a lot of people lost a lot of money and everything else. So you got to give Elon Musk credit for that, guys. You just have to. I know a lot of people don't like him, but this is a war we're in. We're in a war of freeing the mind. You know, unlock the chains of the slavery that these people have them under. And I'm working my ass off to do it. And that's how you win. In order to win the war in slavery, you had to free the slaves. And to do that, they have to know the truth, even if it goes against everything they think they learn. Because a lot of these people really believe what they've been told. They believe all the things I just listed. They believe that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. That's why when he got shot, a lot of people were mad that they didn't finish the job. And again, if Hitler was alive today, or we lived back in the Hitler times, and somebody shot at the real Hitler, people would be upset because he was a tyrant and he was a very, very evil man, and they would want him dead. So from his perspective, are these people that are saying these things, these hideous things about Donald Trump, oh man, saying that they shouldn't have missed and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they're coming from a perspective of he's evil. That's what they're doing. And I'm not saying I don't blame them or something like that. But again, there's filters everyone has that they see the world through out of. You got how you grew up with your parents, where you grew up at, your teachers, your friends, what you watch, and it just makes you see things. And you can't always look at everything from your perspective. This is why I tell people don't live in an echo chamber. The people that I talk to that are on the other side of the argument and of the real facts and the truth, I tell them you got to get out of your echo chamber. Guys, I watch CNN and MSDNC, not to learn anything substantive. I do it to learn things where they're coming from. In order to defeat your enemy, you got to know what they're saying and why they're saying it. And although it is painful, and I do mean painful, sorry, God, I'm breathing heavy because it's hot as hell out here. I didn't drink no water, so I'm going to have to go in the house soon. Even though it's painful to watch, it's a must thing to do. You have to do it. You got to watch it, because if you don't, there's no shade down there. I got to walk this way. If you don't, you're not going to know what they're saying. So I arm myself to help free these people and the slavers, because the mainstream media are kind of like plantation supervisors. They don't own the plantation. The puppeteers do, and the elite, quote unquote, own it. They're just the plantation supervisors and putting out the propaganda. When you know what the plantation supervisors are saying and the propagandists are saying, you can fight against it and show them what it really is. And if they trust you and they love you, maybe after a while you keep feeding them that stuff and they go away from the stuff that have been lying to them and feeding them the propaganda, and they start going to things that are actually telling them the truth. We can win that way. But it's a long road, and I'm fighting my ass off to make sure if Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee. I don't know if she is yet, because we're in that little honeymoon phase where she is the, again, she's the new toy in the toy box, and we're just supposed to pretend that, you know, she had a terrible record in California. We're supposed to pretend that nobody voted for her in California in the primary before the Iowa primary caucus. She dropped out and didn't get one. I think she had 1% or 1% less. And I'm talking about the 2020 election cycle when she was going against Biden. Remember, she insinuated Biden was a racist and he was a rapist. Remember that? Before she got hired as a DEI hire, as a vice president, because that's what she was. She was a DEI hire. And remember, diversity, equity, and inclusion is supposed to be a good thing. Remember? But when you throw it back in their face, it's bad. Also, no one's more far left. No, I don't think any presidential candidate in history has been more progressive or far left than Kamala Harris. Nobody, not even Bernie, the socialist Sanders. None of them. But then they tell you that she's not, right? They tell you, oh, she's not that bad. So what are they telling you saying those two things? Well, I'll say another one. They all say she's not the border czar, which she was, right? She's not a DEI hire. She's not that far left. She's not the border czar. Well, if she's not all these things, which we already know she is, what they're telling you is this. They don't want to attach that to their record because they know people don't like it. It's not popular. In the big picture overall in the country, there's some, you know, extremists that like that stuff, an open border, DEI hires, and the rest and the like. But most people don't. That's why they're trying to detach the reality from that, and also trying to literally change history. That's what they're trying to do. But that's what they're trying to do. But the problem is, we got it all on video, so they can't do that. You know. So what are they going to talk about with Kamala Harris in this election cycle? We already know. They're going to talk about that she's a black woman. She's gonna pander to the emotions. She's gonna say that I'm black, so that's my ethnicity. You're racist if you don't vote for me. I'll be the first woman president. You didn't do it in 2016, Democrats and Republicans, with Hillary Clinton. So you got to vote for her now. That's the first woman. You're sexist if you don't. You're misogynist if you don't. She's the next coming of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. She's a mix between those two. All right? And she's great. You know, everything, she does nothing wrong. Everybody likes her. It's a complete and utter lie. You know it and I know it. And again, she is the puppet right now for the next few weeks. I'm going to see how this goes before the DNC. I think the DNC is the 19th through the 22nd of August. So we'll see if they switch routes and change their mind. Because remember, Sleepy Joe swore to God that, you know, he wasn't going to drop out. But now that Barack and Michelle have endorsed her, and the crime families of the Democratic Party, the 5 crime families, the Schumers, the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, and, you know, dumb if I miss one, I'm sorry. The Schumers, Obamas, the Clintons, Pelosi's, all them, the 5 crime families, you know, and then Biden's had to adjust to it and had to, you know, because they made the Bidens an offer they couldn't refuse. You know, we won't expose you. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. We'll give you this amount of money. We'll give you this position in life. We'll make sure your son, you know, doesn't go to prison. Blah blah blah. We'll paint you as a great president, and we'll lie and say all this stuff about you that it's good, make you look good, and you'll be the hero. Just drop out of the race. Again, the Democratic Party isn't too democratic. So let me know what you guys think, man. What's going to happen over the next few weeks? It's going to be crazy. This week is going to be crazy too. And I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm never going to stop fighting. Never. And all these things going on today, despite all of it, despite all this garbage going on, I'm telling you this right now. Politics does matter. It does. But nothing more is more important than God. And if you didn't watch my video yesterday about talking about the Olympics, I highly suggest you do it. We have to ban the Olympics and not watch it at all, because they're making fun of us and they're promoting the evilness and Satanists, and we can't stand for that, guys. We can't stand for that. But despite all these things we're doing, we can pray, we can stand up and protest peacefully. I think the best way to protest this evilness is by putting your faith in God. I really do. I really do. And the second best thing you could do, earthly things you can do, the worldly things you can do when it comes to your energy, because you're only here for a while, for a little bit, finite time, because when you die, when you go to heaven, that's for eternity. But when you're here for a little time, you're here, that little speck of dust time you're here, that energy, that finite energy you're here, there's only one way to stop them taking your energy and your hard-earned work in your life. And I think, and I pray, and hope you already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.